Hey everyone, it's been a little while since I did one of my vlogs. It's the 20th of January. It's an interesting day. It's Inauguration Day, and I am departing on a pretty close to 800-mile drive that I'm going to be doing over the next 24 hours, having to drive around the state of Wisconsin and Illinois a little bit, making some stops in Madison. I'm going to go basically down to O'Hare, pretty close to Minneapolis, and then back home. So anyways, I just wanted to hop on real quick. I know it's been a couple weeks since I did my last vlog. Just really haven't had the time to do much. Edited a couple other things that were going on, like installing those floor mats into my Jeep, and hopefully I got that Christmas lights video out in time for this one. But yeah, I'm going to try and do this a little bit more. Schedule has changed with work, so I'm not doing as many runs at the same time I am, but I'm hoping I get a few more daylight runs so I can actually do some of these vlogs with actual lighting, because most of the runs I was doing lately were at night. So to get some daytime runs, and might be able to talk to you guys a little bit more and share some more goings on. And probably gonna be driving until about midnight tonight. I got a pickup I got to make at 7 o'clock in the morning up just outside of Minneapolis. So instead of trying to go home and get some sleep, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive up there tonight and see if I can either find a rest stop and sleep in my car for 4 hours or so, and then do that run and head back. So anyways, just making a quick stop for some gas. I'm going to have a pretty interesting milestone that I'm going to hit today, or at least probably sometime on my trip, because again, I'm going to be doing about 800 miles today, and it's that I am almost at 200,000 miles in my HHR. You can see right now we're pretty darn close as it is, and I pretty much guarantee that before my run is over, I'm going to be crossing that 200,000 mile threshold. So when I get close to that, I'm going to bust the camera out, and hopefully I can catch it on camera as it rolls over the big 200,000 miles. So anyways, time to get some gas. Money, burning it out. All right, well anyways, as a few of you saw anyways in my my video I did about changing the the driver's side headlight on my HHR, unfortunately my passenger side has started doing the infamous blinking on and off. Like I'll drive any length of time and all of a sudden it'll just shut off, and then it'll be off for like a minute or two, and then it comes back on, almost kind of like almost like a cooling off cycle for a halogen bulb, which is interesting because I've never had a car that happened with before. But then I'll drive for any length of time, it'll be perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden randomly, like I'll even be stopped and it'll just turn off, turn back on. I jiggle the connector around a little bit and then it comes back on, it'll turn off, and sometimes I can catch that sweet spot and then it'll be fine. So anyways, it seems to only do that about the time the bulb is going bad. So I'm assuming I'm getting pretty close to that point. If this continues while I'm driving tonight, I got a long ride at night tonight, so if this persists, as you guys saw in that last video, I bought a spare headlight bulb and I got it with me, and if it ends up becoming too much of a problem, I'm going to pull over. I'm going to show you guys how to do that, not having to go through the fender well to change the passenger side bulb, but it is kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm hoping I don't have to deal with that today on the run, but we'll see what happens. So let's get back to it. You gotta love traffic circles. So as you guys can see, unfortunately, whenever the weather in Wisconsin in the middle of winter gets above freezing, all we do is we get gloomy, foggy, misty, rainy days, and sometimes you almost wish for those 5-degree days when the sun is at least shining, because there isn't really a whole lot to look at out there today. Of course, the big news of the day is the inauguration of what is now President Donald J. Trump. Kind of surreal to actually say that. Also, former President Obama, which also just, you know, it's going to take a little time to get used to, you know, the change, obviously, and I'm sure it's going to take a lot of time for a lot more people to really get used to it, and probably a lot of people that won't even ever like it. But anyways, not really much to be said on that. I'm sure everybody has their opinions, and I guess time will tell, and we'll see how things will be going under the the Trump regime. So hopefully it'll be better than some of us expect it will be, and hopefully it's not as bad as some other people expect it to be. But again, time will tell, and we'll see how things go. And we're gonna have at least 4 years of this, so we'll see how things go from this point. But all right, well, before it gets too dark here, I just wanted to throw a little something out there real quick, and I definitely don't want to jump too far down the political rabbit hole here. But I just had the radio on, and I heard them talking about the people that are out and protesting out in Washington D.C., and kind of some people looking like they're trying to turn it into a riot. And frankly, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. The one thing that's always been great about our country is that the term that we've heard so many times recently, and especially today, is that the peaceful transfer, or peaceful transition of power. As you guys know, I was not a big Donald Trump fan. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even put Trump and fan in the same sentence when it came to me. Actually, when Donald Trump became the nominee of the Republican Party, that was when the first time in my life I decided to sign on with a political party, and that of the Libertarians, because when it came down to being Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, it really kind of seemed like we were just signing on for two different types of messes when it came to whoever was going to be the next president of the United States. Donald Trump, no matter what happens, is more than likely not going to surprise me. My expectations are low at best. My hope is that he can do better than anybody expects that he's going to be. But the thing is that I understand a lot of people did not give Barack Obama a chance when he first became president. Unfortunately, now Donald Trump has to deal with the same thing from the other side of the aisle. But the one thing that people really need to realize is that, he's still just the president of the United States of America. And the thing is the president of the United States, whether Republican or Democrat, is not something that is supposed to be, I guess, as powerful as most people look at it to be nowadays. And I think a lot of the protest and the fear of a Donald Trump presidency has come from the flat-out fact that the people of this country have allowed the president to become too powerful. The only reason to fear a Donald Trump presidency is because you allowed Barack Obama to make the president too powerful. And the thing is what is always held true in American history is that when the pendulum gets pushed too far in one direction, it swings back just as far. And unfortunately, Donald Trump is the result of that pendulum swinging back. The Democrats and Barack Obama took things too far, and people push back, and I'm afraid they're going to push back too far. And unfortunately, that is the case where we are. And what needs to happen right now is all the people that did not like the the things that the Democrats did. I don't like to use the term lawlessness, but definitely pushing, they were pushing the envelope of what, a political party can do when it's in full power. And granted, now the Republicans are in full power, and what they really need to do is they need to grab that pendulum and slow it down and bring it back to a more moderate, level, something that the presidency was expected to be, because Donald Trump is in a precarious position right now, because the last thing you want is a bunch of riots and protests and turmoil in this country right after a guy like Donald Trump takes office, because I would not rule a guy like him out to really put his foot down and that whole iron fist stomp it out. And the thing is if that's where the presidency of Donald Trump begins, then you have to look at it and say, where does it end? I mean, ultimately, in the end, the reason that I say that Donald Trump is the result of, frankly, the presidency of Barack Obama is because of everything that has been allowed to be done under Barack Obama, and the ignorance of just how much stuff has been done over the past 8 years that is contrary to basically American values in a lot of ways. And we just need to make sure that Donald Trump is not allowed to do the same things, but just allowed to do them in the opposite direction because his party is in power. It needs to get fixed. It needs to get resolved. And I know it's a little bit of a side note, and nobody can really ever predict the future, but the one thing that everybody out there that is complaining about Donald Trump right now needs to understand is that if Mitt Romney would have defeated Barack Obama in the 2012 election, it's almost assured that Hillary Clinton would be our president right now, because I can't imagine Mitt Romney for re-election would have defeated Hillary Clinton. But look at the way that Mitt Romney was treated, and that whole war on women and all the terrible things that were said about him. All I have to say is, at this point in time, is for all you people that really fear Donald Trump as a president, would you have sacrificed the last 4 years of Barack Obama's presidency, which basically amounted to not really a lot? Hang on one second, I gotta make a turn. But I think a really good thought experiment is to think about whether or not where we are right now, if you would have traded the past 4 years of Barack Obama's presidency to Mitt Romney and basically assure that we'd have Hillary Clinton right now. Because, I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump being president, and I make no bones about that. I definitely was not a fan of Hillary Clinton becoming president, but you really have to look at the long ball in a lot of this stuff. And that, as I used that term before, that cult of personality that fell onto why we got Barack Obama, it is nothing but cult of personality right now with Donald Trump. And if we were to rein some of that back in 2012, I think Mitt Romney would have been a caretaker president. I don't think much of anything would have changed with him. I mean, he was actually, an advocate, to a different degree of, the quote-unquote Romney care that supposedly was a blueprint for Obamacare. But I can't imagine that in the 4 years that Mitt Romney would have been president, that really much of anything would have been undone from Barack Obama's first 4 years. And we'd probably be looking at Hillary Clinton in office right now. So people just need to think about stuff like that, how things play out in the long run, because I have my doubts as to whether or not Donald Trump is going to be more than a one-term president. And to be honest with you, I would not be surprised if within the first 2 years of his presidency that he ends up impeached or has to resign from office for some reason or another, because let's be honest, the Democrats can't stand him already. And which is really weird, because I think if he would have run as a Democrat and just switched a few of his points of view, he could have possibly been one of the most popular presidents we ever had. But there are people that just cannot get past the D and the R, whether or not someone's a Democrat or a Republican. And ultimately, it's sad, because Donald Trump, I think, most of his life has had more in line with Democrats than he has with Republicans. But you have to take a look at where things are now, and I mean, he's a one-term president, most likely, and the Democrats would love to see him go, and frankly, I think the Republicans would go right along with it, because I think in the end, they would be a lot happier having Mike Pence as president and having him run for would run for re-election if he replaced Donald Trump. So I don't know, man. We're definitely in a crazy place in this country right now, and I really, I think a lot of people thought they knew what they thought they knew, and we are definitely in uncharted waters right now. You got to give Donald Trump credit because, I mean, for a man like him, doesn't surprise me in the least, the following that he got and the way he conducts himself and things like that. But, I guess the one thing that can't be taken away from him is, he's about as close to a man of the people as we're going to get as president, a man that had zero political experience and basically bulldozed his way into the presidency like nobody has before, and that's pretty incredible. So anyways, I don't want this whole vlog to be a political rant, just a couple thoughts on the inauguration of Donald Trump. And starting to get dark out, a little bit more rain, kind of gloomy. I don't know, it's just kind of fitting weather for kind of how I feel about where things are in the country right now, and just hoping that as the days and weeks go by, maybe we can start getting some better, I don't know, maybe we can start getting some good news and maybe a better feeling of where our country's going right now, because right now kind of really feels like we're treading thin ice right now, and hopefully things go for the better. So anyways, that's it for right now. Hey guys, I just made my delivery down in Illinois, and unfortunately my headlight's starting to become too much of a problem here. It keeps going on and off and starting to stay off more than it is on. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to try and change it. So I'm going to show you guys real quick to do the quick, not necessarily easy way, but the quick way to get through it, get to the bulb through the kind of like the air intake hole. So I'm going to try and show you guys that real quick, and I'm going to pop that new bulb in there, and hopefully that'll solve the problem, because the bulb still seems to work. Unfortunately, it just won't stay on. So I don't know why this car keeps doing this, but we're going to try and remedy the problem right now. Alright, so unfortunately the lighting isn't very good here, so we're going to show you kind of what the problem is. So basically, as you can see, this isn't the first time I've had to do this, but you got to pull this air intake back, and well, it looks like it's about totally ripped off now, so that's good. Gonna have to replace that soon, but as you can see, there's a hole in there. You can kind of see the wiring, and the interesting thing is if I stick my hand in there and touch the bulb, yeah, that's all I have to do is jiggle the wires. Just basically touch the connector and the light turns on. So unfortunately that's not going to work, so I'm going to pull it out and put the new bulb in and hopefully see if that solves the problem. Alright, so what I'm going to do, you can see this well enough, is I think first off I'm going to shut the engine off. At least that way I won't have to worry about hitting something I shouldn't be hitting. So engine is off. Get some light. I'm going to drop my keys in there. So yeah, I wish there was something magnetic I could stick this light on. So, but basically it's going to be hard to see, but what I have to do is I got to jam my hand in there, give the bulb a little twist to get it to release, which is not as easy as it sounds. Okay, so I got the bulb to click and release, and I just got to pull it out, and there it is. So the interesting thing about this is, oops, trying to get this where I can keep it working. is now I'm gonna pop it out of the housing, which unfortunately I gotta move the camera. I gotta disconnect the old bulb, which is still a little warm. It's not too bad. I press on the bottom. See, tiny hands work out a lot better. Okay. So the old bulb is out. Doesn't look bad. Actually looks in really good shape. So I don't know what the deal is. So we're gonna open up our new bulb, you know, the ones that you guys saw me buy not too long ago. And again, remember, do not touch the actual bulb or you're gonna ruin it. So you connect the wire first and then put the bulb in, and hopefully this fix it. Do not touch the bulb. Alright, so new bulb is in. I'm gonna test it and make sure it works. So yeah, as I was saying, this air intake unfortunately has been through the ringer. Had to move this a few times now to get in here, and it's just falling apart. So at some point I'm going to actually have to hit the salvage yard, try and find a new one of those, but whatever, I'm not going to deal with it right now. Get that back together as best I can. Make sure this isn't rubbing. There we go. Alright, well, that's going to be good enough. Moment of truth. Alright, well, headlight's on, so hopefully that solves that problem. So, anyways, like I said, this car has been a total pain in the butt, unfortunately, and hopefully this solves my problem for the rest of the night. So anyways, we're gonna get back on the road, and hopefully this bulb stays on and solves my problem for a while. And I don't know how to, if any of you guys out there have any ideas on why this keeps happening, make sure to drop me a line and let me know, but I'm gonna get back to work. Alright, well, it's been a couple hours, actually almost 4 hours since I finished up fixing my headlight and got on the road. Just made a stop and got some, unfortunately, not fantastic McDonald's, but hey, you know, do what you got to do when you're out on the road, you know. So I got a little bit more drive time to go before I'm going to probably pull off and try and get some sleep for a little while. Hopefully I can find a rest stop along the way. As of right now, it looks like I'm 112 miles away from my destination, about an hour and 44 minutes. Yeah, in case you see a mess, of course, you know, when you live out of your car for a couple days, it doesn't take long for everything to start getting messy. But anyways, yeah, so far so good. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to find a good spot where I can pull off and get some rest in. It's looking like I'm probably going to get close to there around 1 o'clock, and I don't know, I have to make my pickup at 7 o'clock in the morning. I got about a quarter tank of gas too, so I'm probably going to see if I can find some place that's like a truck stop maybe, or I'm hoping that they might have some cheaper gas once I get away from the interstate. I know it's usually a little bit higher, you know, when you're easy on, easy off kind of thing, but so anyways, just wanted to update the vlog here, and I'm just going to keep on going and see how things are, and hopefully if I find a good place to stop, get a few hours of good sleep in before I gotta finish up in the morning. And our mileage is currently sitting at 199,756. I still have about 100 miles to go until I get to my destination, so that's going to leave me safely in the margin for hitting 200,000 miles sometime in the morning, probably after I do my pickup. So I'm going to probably chronicle that and stick the GoPro on my the column there and watch it as it ticks over. And that's a pretty cool milestone to get. So anyways, anything interesting comes along the way, and you guys will know. Alright, well, quick update here. I found a quick trip just north, well, actually in Eau Claire as I'm heading north, and I took a couple moments to look on Google, and I found a rest stop that looks to be about 46 miles north of where I am right now. So I think that's probably where I'm going to end up stopping. Looks like it'll end up being about 30 miles away from my pickup, so I'll probably get there about 1:30. I need to do my pickup at 7 o'clock in the morning, as I said before, so I'm hoping that I can get a good 4 or 5 hours of sleep in, and it's actually not going to be too bad, and hopefully I'll wake up in the morning and be nice and rested, and continue on. But first I got to get to the rest stop, so we're gonna do that, and hopefully it turns out to be at least a halfway decent one. It's not on an interstate, it's one of our state highways, so I'm hoping it's pretty good. But anyways, I guess we'll find out.
Right now, as you and I talk, all around the country in sporadic areas, protests, some of them getting a little vicious. Protests. They arrested 217 people earlier today in D.C.
Alright, well, looks like my GPS was off a little bit, and the rest stop here is only 1 mile away. So let's see how this thing looks. Definitely doesn't look too busy, that's for sure. Well, looks like we're probably going to stop right about here, where it's nice and not completely lit up, but close enough. Alright, well, here's to hoping that this one will be nice and quiet. I'm going to see like about 3 cars. I'm not even sure I see any trucks back there, but we're going to give this thing a shot and try and get a little bit of rest here. So, anyways, see how things look in the morning. Oh. Oh. Oy. Well, anyways, just it's about almost 6:30 in the morning here, so it looks like it's about midnight. Dark, foggy, but anyways, just trying to wake up a little bit here, and little caffeine, get some kick going, and got about a half-hour ride via my pickup. When it's time to start heading back home. So anyways, let's get back to it. Alright, so it's about 8:50, driving for a couple hours after I did my pickup, and yeah, man, this has definitely been a weird winter so far. I mean, it's literally January 21st. It's about 35 degrees out. Drove through fog all night, and now pretty much just been driving through a downpour, and yeah, we're having some pretty crazy weather this winter, and yeah, well, it could always be worse. I mean, this amount of rain, this would have been one heck of a snowstorm, if it had been a bit colder. So I guess from that aspect, count our blessings. But man, just some crummy weather. I was really hoping to get some sunshine today. So well, still got a few hundred miles to go before I'll be done for the day. So there's still time for that. And I'm currently right now at 199,971. So we're getting closer and closer to that magical 200,000 mile mark. So we're definitely going to be hitting that one today. And I'm going to definitely catch that on camera when that happens, because it's pretty cool. So anyways, back driving. have it. Just crossed 200,000 miles on my 2010 Chevy HHR. I'd like to say it was kind of exciting, but it was kind of It was kind of cool to see the odometer tick over and see every single one of the numbers on it change, which is pretty cool. I think off the top of my head, I don't know if other than a work car, I don't know if I've ever had a vehicle that I watched tick over 200,000 miles. Either it was pretty close or it was already over, but yeah, so bought the car when I had about 76,000 miles on it, and that was a little over 2 years ago. And once I started working as an independent contractor, as a courier, and using my own vehicle, I started racking the miles up, and I think it was Christmas, sometime around Christmas of 2015 when I hit 100,000. And yeah, just about 13 months later, 200,000 miles. So that's pretty cool. Got another, let's see, what do we got? About an hour and a half and about 100 more miles to go to my delivery, and that'll at least wrap up my day when it comes to actually getting paid miles. And I'll check in and see if I got anything that I have about an 80-mile drive home from Madison, and check in and see if they have anything that's going that way, because it's always nice to pick up to get a run in the direction that you're going and actually earn some money while you're driving the way you would have been driving anyways. But sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, so I keep my fingers crossed and hopefully I can make a little extra money on the way home, but I won't hold my breath at this point. So anyways, just made my drop in Madison about 11:30, heading out of town. I checked in with my dispatch, and unfortunately they don't have any open runs right now anywhere between Madison and Milwaukee. So I'm just gonna be heading home, it looks like. I'm probably gonna try and get a little more sleep this afternoon and try not to let the whole day go to waste. But anyways, yeah, not much else going on. Looks like gonna be another gloomy ride home. So anyways, find anything else to report along the way home, I will add it into the video. Otherwise, as always, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and help me grow my channel, and we'll catch you next time.